The leader of the opposition United Workers' Party has reiterated a call for Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony to resign as the country's Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs. Alan Chasney says Dr. Kenny Anthony continues to fail in the position, taking the economy along with him. According to the UWP leader, with a lagging economy, the government is unable to provide basic and important services to the public, healthcare being the chief among them. I recently sat down with Alan Chasney in a wide-ranging interview.
I don't care what the Prime Minister tells me. He cannot open it. He cannot open it. But he doesn't have the courage to tell the people of St. Lucia that he cannot open St. Jude and he cannot open the new National Hospital because he doesn't have the money to do so.
But I believe that the government has admitted that much by having the Parliament session on the bipartisan approach to the financing for healthcare.
And that is an insult to all of our intelligence. There was a debate in the House in which several recommendations were made by the opposition. Not one of them was accepted. And you come weeks later and say, oh, we want to have a bipartisan approach. Why didn't you have the bipartisan approach before the bill came to the House?
But it has...
Everybody's onto the game now, you know. The game is that they have a policy and they have a program that's sinking. And then now, at this point now, you want to bring the opposition in? When you had the meetings on a new vision for the country, and you had business meetings at Capella Hotel, where was the opposition? You now want to come and say, oh, we're going to invite you and we're going to put Stevenson King as the chairperson? What's the resources being made available? What's the agenda?
But isn't that why there should be the sit-down? To discuss that, to discuss the finer points. So is staying away the answer?
Well, maybe in this case it might be, because it's not a genuine invitation.
But isn't that a disservice to the country, though?
It's not, because at the end of the day, all it's going to do is to try to fool the people. Because when it fails, they're going to say, well, the opposition was involved, when that's not true.
But I hardly think that there will be apportioning blame towards the opposition. The reins of power belongs to the SLP. And it is a bipartisan thing, meaning both sides.
If it was genuine, we would be there. It's not genuine.
But you do agree we need to have the talk about financing, healthcare.
We need to talk about a lot of things. Okay? Look at the simple thing of the bank, the new bank regulation that went through. Okay? All around the Caribbean, everybody is saying, pausing for a moment. Because you're talking about a regulation that's now going to empower the central bank substantially more. So even the approval of directors, all kinds of things. Okay? Those points were lost in the lower house. Those points were very well articulated in the upper house. Every appeal, even by the independent senators, put a pause. Let's put together some committees. Let's go through this thing in more detail and really understand the complexity of this whole thing. Okay? On 3 occasions, the President of the Senate had to intervene and vote and have the casting vote. That seems to you like a government that wants to sit down and talk and really cares about the people of St. Lucia? And you want the opposition to take these people seriously? I'm sorry. I've said it, I'm going to say it again. Kenny Anthony is singularly the worst Minister of Economic Development, the worst Minister of Finance this country has ever had. And he needs to do all of us a favor and resign and let somebody else take up the helm. I'm not asking for the party to get out, but they need to find somebody else who can do it, because he's had over 13 years as in those positions, and you look at the track record, completely dismal. If you take the aggregate growth rate for Kenny Anthony in his entire time, it is negative in 13 years. So he's a disaster. And he's leaving all kinds of debt, and he has all kinds of excuses, and he's the master at politics. And maybe, if we had a little bit less politics and a bit more pragmatism, right, we wouldn't.
Stay with the CTV News. We're back after the break.